WTIM.
Good morning. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. And our morning show, it's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment, we've got Valerie Belusco. Valerie is a community and economic development educator with the University of Illinois Extension. Valerie, thanks for joining us again this month. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am doing well on this end, and it's great to hear from you here today with the topic that you've presented to me. We're going to talk a little bit about agro-tourism. Now, again, I was kind of telling you before we got our start today, I've had to learn a lot about agriculture, and unfortunately, this is also relatively new to me. So what is agro-tourism here in Central Illinois or the state as a whole?
So agritourism is really just a type of tourism that combines agriculture and travel. So it's something that kind of brings in visitors and allows them to engage and learn about activities while working on a farm or ranch, or even just kind of visiting something agriculture related. So right now in this season, when most people think of agritourism, especially in Illinois being the #1 pumpkin state, we think of pumpkin patches and everything that comes along with pumpkin patches. So although it is fun, there's also always kind of that educational experience in the background, just helping get people there to understand kind of what farming is like, and what being outdoors working, outdoors is like.
Well, you mentioned the pumpkin patches as just one example of agro-tourism. What are some other examples that maybe are lesser known about but are just as important?
Oh my goodness. Well, so, farm tours are actually pretty big. In fact, one of the best agritourism, I guess, little mini vacations that I ever had was going to a very, very large dairy farm. I won't say what it is because I don't know if I can highlight that, but just learning about their processes, learning how they do birthing, learning how they take care of the cows and, make sure that everything is clean, learning about hoof care. It was absolutely fascinating. And I come from a farm where we have cattle, but we don't have dairy cows. So learning about that whole new perspective, and being with kids that had never even been on a farm before, and, just watching their jaws hit the floor when they see how much goes into farming and the process just to get, milk and dairy products to them was phenomenal and amazing. So that's definitely, one example. Also, though, just like interactive animal displays. So sometimes people don't think about it, but petting zoos are huge for agritourism. Right now we have a lot of like festivals and corn mazes. Those are always big. Fishing is big. And when we think about fishing, we're always thinking about lakes, but a lot of people have ponds, farms, or creeks on their farms. And so, you can bring in and do guided fishing tours there. Rodeos, always a big one that draws the big crowd, whether it's the little kid rodeos or, the professional bull riders.
Mm-hmm.
And then even kind of vacation types of examples. So you can have like a farm stay or a farm wedding, or bed and breakfast outside, or camping experiences. That all falls under agritourism.
Agritourism is a lot more than just pumpkin patches and maybe apple orchards, as Valerie Belusco is telling us right now with the University of Illinois Extension. And for you right here, that's a look at agritourism. Now you've kind of thrown a word at me here that I didn't know quite about either. Agritainment. What's going on there?
So agritainment is kind of a new word or definition. Agritourism has been around for a while, but agritainment's a little bit different. So when we're really thinking about, how to make things entertaining while also bringing in agriculture, that's when you really think about those festivals, the corn mazes, the rodeos. So it's a little bit less about learning. It gives people a taste of agriculture, but it is more entertainment. So when we think about agritainment, that's what we're thinking about.
Okay. And just kind of trying to separate the two just a little bit based on one is maybe slightly more educational and more for you to chew on, I guess. The other being just a little bit more fun, not necessarily more fun, but the focus is solely on that then in that regard. What about goals of agritainment? And maybe if you're a business kind of trying to put together a way to really market or advertise the fact that, hey, we're here and we're ready to come see you.
Well, so a lot of people are really getting into agritourism and agritainment right now. And one of the first things that you need to do is just make sure you check your zoning regulations. Now, in the country, we definitely don't have many zoning regulations, but there are some. And so you really want to make sure that you're staying within those regulations to make sure that what you're using your land for is allowed. And then you want to see if your land has any kind of just tax reduction programs that it's utilizing or things like that. And then maybe even contact your local tax assessor just to see if what you're planning is going to affect your tax status, because sometimes it can have a big impact and you want to know that ahead of time so that you can properly plan for whatever business or idea you would like to do. But really, thinking about just what do you have? What do you want to share? What are your personal goals with this? You want to be unique. You want to be creative and different. And of course, you're looking to increase value to your farm and to your community, and sometimes to people's understanding to nature and outdoors itself. But you want to figure out, really what is your main goal, because it's hard to do everything.
Mhm.
So think about that, and then start with your business plan. Even agritourism and agritainment requires a good business plan to help you think about financing and marketing, thinking about your profit analysis and your risk management, asset protection, all that good stuff.
Now, in your day to day, Valerie, as the community and economic development educator, is that something that folks can call on you or the University of Illinois Extension to maybe kind of talk some of those plans over? Say they have a farm and they'd love to maybe open it up to like a corn maze or something along those lines. Is that something that you're willing to maybe also sit down and provide a little more information on? Or am I kind of trying to give you more things to do?
No, definitely reach out to me. We do have a brand new Region 2 specialist who has come to the area and has just started. So I don't even know if her email is up and working yet. But she comes with a phenomenal tourism background, and this is really going to be her the main projects that she works on here in this area of Illinois, which is kind of what we consider central Illinois. She has lived on both coasts. She is originally from central Illinois, traveled all over, done tourism in just about every type of capacity you can possibly think of. And we are going to definitely, if you have any questions for me, I'm great with business plans and those kind of things. But if it's more tourism related, I will definitely connect you to someone that can help you even more.
Okay. Well, and sometimes you got to lean on the folks that have different strengths, and if we're able to do so, then that is something I wanted to ask just a little bit about. And again, not trying to put more work on your plate. It's just one of those things where, if available, why can't we maybe put that out there as well? Valerie,
Yeah, no, that's what we're here for. So that's great.
Sure. Business plans, that's Valerie's end of the deal. What about marketing tips? How to get that information and the word out there?
Well, number one, think about local radio. It's so funny. I just saw that MTV is finally closing the last of its channels here at the end of the year. And of course, when I was little, Video Killed the Radio Star came out, and that was the big thing. And my husband and I had a discussion over it last night. And you know what hasn't gone away? It has, local radio has not gone away. It continues to be such an important source of just local marketing and local information. And so definitely think about that. Think about social media as well, and any kind of things like your local chamber, getting involved with a local tourism bureau. Once you get big enough, you can even start thinking newspapers, magazines, and billboards. So lots of options out there for marketing.
Plenty of options, and I appreciate the mention our way to start that off. So thank you for that. But that's one of those deals too that we can have a beautiful product and we can have such a great time on our hands, but if nobody knows about it, then nobody knows about it. And so that's one of those things too, where I'm sure Valerie, in the newest member to the extension staff, is willing to help you maybe put that plan together. Well, let's take a break. Valerie Belusco, Community and Economic Development Educator with the University of Illinois Extension, joining us now. We'll come back and we'll talk more with Valerie about agrotourism, agritainment, and maybe we'll sort the two things out by the end of this whole deal. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and wheat higher at this hour. December corn up 4.19 3/4. March corn 434.5 up 2 1/4. May corn 443 1/4 up 2 1/4. November beans 10.14 up 7.5. January beans up 7 1/4, 10.31 1/2. March beans 10.47 1/4 up 7 1/2. December wheat up 1 3/4, $5 1/2. March wheat 5.17 1/2 up 1 3/4. December bean meal 275.20, that's down 70 cents. December bean oil 51.50 up 70 cents. Livestock market October feeders 378.77 down 95 cents. October live cattle up 72 cents, 242.90. December lean hogs 82.85 down 75 cents. Energy market November crude oil 58.33 up 6 cents.
This is Bill Pinkston, General Sales Manager at Landmark of Taylorville. The new 26 models are arriving daily, so it's time to harvest up some huge savings on the remaining 25 models. Right now, you can save up to $12,000 on new Silverado and Sierra trucks. Needing a fuel-efficient family vehicle? We currently have a large selection of Chevy, Buick, and GMC SUVs. Plus, with over 400 pre-owned vehicles in our family dealerships and our lifetime powertrain warranty, why would you buy anywhere else? All roads lead to the Landmark of Taylorville. And remember, you always do better at Landmark.
The days are shorter, the air is cooler, fall's arrived, but the savings are still heating up at Southern Ledge Pools and Patios in Taylorville. Pool season may be over, but now's the perfect time to stock up and save. Right now, get 10% off all in-stock floats, pool chemicals, and vacuums. Don't wait till spring. Get ready for next season today. Southern Ledge Pools and Patios in Taylorville, your outdoor fun creator.
Hi, everyone. Nicole Patrick here, your local country financial representative at 1305 West Bresser in Taylorville. I'm proud to recognize the Tornado student athletes that represent our community by being the exclusive sponsor of the WTIM Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game. During Tornado Sports broadcasts this school year, WTIM announcers will select a player at the end of each game who will receive a certificate for being named our Player of the Game. Good luck to all the teams this season, and go Tornadoes!
This is Megan Lopez with Nesty's Burger Joint on the south side of the Taylorville Square. To see our menu, click on our icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Shalas Nagel, Executive Director at Kimmer Village in Assumption. To learn more about our services, click on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
And we're back with the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station and brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us, we have Valerie Belusco, Community and Economic Development Educator with the University of Illinois Extension, talking agritourism, agritainment, and more. But what about the economic impact can you tell us about? Hey, we've got all this at our disposal, but what does it do for the state of Illinois?
So those numbers are a little bit hard to track because of how we have different tourism bureaus in different areas of the state. But what I did do is I went to Enjoy Illinois to see their statistics, and they collect data from all over the state and compile everything. So they have a statewide kind of impact. And what they could tell us was in 2024, there were 112 million visitors that came into Illinois. Of those, I would say 110 million were domestic, so they were from the United States. And then the other 2.4 million were international. And visitors ended up spending $48.5 billion in Illinois last year. That was up 3% from 2003. And it had an overall economic impact of $82.6 billion. So it has a phenomenal impact on our economy. And if you want to think about what does that mean for you locally and how does that kind of translate locally, when we kind of look at everything, what we would say is the taxes that were generated from the state and from local government bodies, the taxes that were generated, in order to replace all of those taxes from the visitors and the money that was spent by visitors in Illinois, we would have to increase everyone's property tax by $1,300. And so that is phenomenal when you think about that, the impact that it has on you individually, as well as the impact on the state. And what I can tell you is agritourism plays a huge role in this. So don't be misled thinking that all of this just comes from the larger cities. We actually contribute greatly. It's just harder to pull those numbers together to show you on the radio.
Sure thing. And Valerie, thank you for putting said numbers together, because I don't think anybody'd like to hear about an additional $1,300 in taxes. So I think they should be happy with that. Well, Valerie, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And on this end as well, Valerie Belusco, Community and Economic Development Educator with the University of Illinois Extension, talking a little bit about agritourism, agritainment, and more. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. The Big 870 WTIM.